be more comfortable with.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm just, in terms
Every
of
one of them has
What I should be thinking.
and sometimes it's like, but you don't know where this came from. You don't know what so much information.
I like that comparison.
Remember I pointed out yellow-eyed grass before, and I said there's some taller ones right here. This is all yellow-eyed grass. And they'll have little, some of them will have, this is live, will have little yellow flowers right at the very tip of that cone-like structure. And that is a grass. Now also later in the summer and earlier in the fall, this whole area was covered with a grass. This whole area was covered with a grass called a lopsided Indian grass. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I've got a photo you can pass around and take a look at it. It's worth coming here just to take a look at it if it happens again. I mean, usually there's some in here every year.
When does it bloom?
It's in late summer, early fall. Here's a couple of photos of it.
A lot of the aquatic plants that I've been working on lakes have been blooming lately. The pickerel weed, blue flag iris, and arrowhead. It's all going. It all started to pop in March.
And it bends over, and all the seeds hang down in one direction from it. And this whole area in here, this last fall, was covered with it. It was just absolutely beautiful.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That's why you go walking
Different times of year.
the same place, different times of year.
You never
Yep.
know. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Everybody's seen it.
Looks like a little pine cone stuck on there.
They look a lot softer than pine cones to me.
They are.
Sedges have edges, rushes are round, grasses have nodes all the way to the ground. And when I say node, this is what I mean.
Check this out.
They have leaves that come out up along the stem
This is
where they attach.
this is like a queen palm or something.
Node.
This cycad.
This is,
This cycad.
Hollow tree.
oh, and look at here's a baby longleaf, right? Yes, that's the one. John, that's the long, one of the longleaf we had seen, but you can really see the long white handle on it.
Oh yeah, right there, yeah. As a matter of fact, if you take a look right behind that, you'll see a couple that look like they're still in the grass stage. Just looks like a clump of grass back there.
Oh,
Looking at
oh,
longleaf.
okay.
And that can
Baby
stay that way for up to 15 years while the root system develops. And then it'll grow very quickly without sending out side branches.
And Coontie over here.
That's
Oh yeah, and this is
cycad.
another
Right behind you.
typical. This is another
Let me-
typical
oh.
plant.
I walked right by this kid. Sorry,
It's all right.
I wanted to
Well,
get,
I guess I don't have the class here, so.
and up there you can get all, you can
That's
get
called
three
Coontie,
stages.
anyway. I'll talk about it later. Oh, here they come.
He was
So this is a
going to talk
I
about
pointed
is the
out-
pine flatwoods a
I
wetlands?
pointed out two things here. There's some longleaf pine in the grass stage right back there. But I wanted to also point out this plant because it's very common. It's called Coontie. This is an ancient plant that grows down here. It's more closely related to gymnosperms, to the pines, than it is to anything else. And probably the most common place you find them is in garden centers because they make great landscape plants. Because all you have to do is plant them and leave them alone. You don't have to fertilize them, water them, or anything because they're just adapted to this sandy soil.
how big do they get?
About that big.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bigger, sometimes more full. And they have separate sexes. Oh, this one does. Right in the center, there's a cone-like structure. See it right down in there?
Oh my gosh.
That one's a female.
That's a female because it's kind of a round,
Looks like a
roundish cone. The male, the cone looks more like a cigar. And when this is ripe, that will all just break apart and there'll be bright red seeds, each one about that big around, all over the ground. When it breaks, it just kind of falls apart.
People will grow these in their yards, and sometimes they call them dwarf palms, things like that. They're beautiful plants.
Didn't the Indians use that as a food?
Yes.
Do you know what part they ate?
What's that?
The Indians used that as
The roots.
the roots.
Yeah.
I think they made a flour-like
They made
material.
a starchy flour.
Yeah, that's basically, yeah, I'd heard that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's neat.
And this is your blueberry plant right here. Oh, we got several things right here. This is blueberry.
Yeah, that's little.
Well, that's a small plant. They can grow up
We'll see some bigger ones later.
3 feet. But here's your yellow-eyed grass in bloom, right there.
Yeah.
See them all right in here? And then this one is different, and that's called yellow star grass. Right back there. Yeah, all of your yellow-eyed grasses, the sun hits it, and they start the flowers start to come out.
6 petals,
6 petals?
if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I was trying to get close to
On
see
the
it. I
yellow
counted
star, yeah,
5.
there's 6 petals
I'm glad
on
you
it
said
usually.
6.
Sometimes you see 5, but usually there's 6. And the yellow-eyed grass has 3.
Oh gosh, that's a tiny flower, isn't it?
Or these
Nice though.
hat pins, bogvuts, whatever you want to call them, they're just everywhere. They are pretty.
If you come here by yourself sometime, or just walk quietly through here, you frequently will see deer.
Right now they got their heads down, huh?
Yeah, there's a yellow bachelor buttons right there. Yeah,
And
They
what's
look-
this right here?
that's the seed branch of the saw palmetto. Those will form flowers, and then they'll be covered with little berries.
That's what attracts all the bees and stuff.
Just saw palmetto.
It comes right out of here.
Mostly palms in my yard.
This is what you'll see in the early summer. You'll ride down the road and you'll see stands this, and you'll see people parked on the side up there harvesting stuff. They'll load up pickup truck after pickup truck to load, because there's commercial value in the.
Oh, saw palmetto. It's for prostate. Yeah.
And if you look out
that's
here,
the
you'll
part
see
they
some
use
young
for
pines that have started to
medicinal
come up.
purposes.
Now these pines right in here are probably this is probably the 3rd year of growth up out of the grass cave. Yeah.
Kind of grows in a spiral. Look at that. That's cool. Goes right around.
This for at least a couple more years, so they'll be probably a couple more years. They'll probably be 4 feet taller. But even if they burned that right now, see, the thing is that especially before man came through, the fires were very frequent, every 2 to 3 years. And so there wasn't a lot of fuel when the fire went through, so they were low and they weren't that hot. And trees like that could certainly survive it. In fact, if a fire went through here now, they would survive the fire because it would burn off the lower needles, but the cluster at the tip would protect that growing tip.
Remember, it does water in it and it steams.
Right.
And keeps it from burning.
Right.
I listen to you.
But they're all
I listen.
It's ironic. Smokey the Bear killed a lot of trees because they didn't. They quit burning
Right.
and putting fires out, and then you have years and years and years of fuel.
Exactly.
And it got so hot it killed mature trees.
Is anyone here from New York?
Is that how they learned that lesson?
Originally,
I'm from
New York State,
northwestern
has northern New York State has the Adirondack Mountains, and they pretty much made that all the Adirondack Preserve. I mean, there's a lot of private land in there, and villages and towns and everything, but you can't cut anything. You can't use any of it. And someday you're going to read in the newspaper that the Adirondack Mountains has got a conflagration that is just incredible because there's so much fuel and dead wood that it's going to create all kinds of damage.
I'm glad they brought
about clearing it out. Working on clearing it out.
Well, I still take a magazine from New York, even after living down here for about 15 years. And I think they finally got wise, and they're starting to allow people to use some of the dead wood for firewood.
And some of the controlled burns, prescribed burns we'll have here, you'll actually see them going in and physically removing some of the big fallen things so that when they do the burn, it doesn't become so hot.
Is that pawpaw they're burning?
Yeah, that's a pawpaw back in there.
Oh, that's
Yep. Yep.
I'm also glad they brought Smoky back, but now instead of saying don't prevent forest fires, it's don't prevent wildfires.
Wildfires.
Right. Or only you can help prevent wildfires. Because
There's more
wildfires
blueberries all along in there. There's some in bloom.
Yes.
And if you take a look at those flowers, they'll look a lot like the shiny Lyonia flowers.
That's probably one of the most important things I've learned.
There's the tread lightly.
Oh, yeah.
Tread softly.
Tread softly. When this matures a little bit, gets a little bit older, those leaves will have, they don't have spines on them, but they'll have as stinging hairs on them. That if you rub them on your skin, they can cause a
In my photographs, I can
irritation.
see them in the photograph very clearly.
And those are good examples of the yellow-eyed grass now blooming.
So what's the real name for those?
Tread
Tread
softly.
softly.
Okay.
And if you get down and look right at it, the leaves are covered with little hairy,
I-
almost like needles.
I have had them all over me. I'm not getting close to that thing. I know.
I have trouble.
Yeah, when you're a little barefoot boy and those run up between your toes, you'll cry.